I got my first drum kit when I was 10 years old, and got it through the Sears catalog. And that's one of the instruments that parents just hate to see coming, as a drum kit. But that's, when I saw the Beatles on TV, it was like, and I saw Ringo, it was like, that's what I'm going to do right there. So I was in my first band when I was like 11 or 12, which is the age, 11 is the age of my daughter now. And then I have worked with, over the years, special needs kids. I've worked with gifted kids. I've worked with all types, you know, and in the movies, I've worked with a lot of kids. And I guess I just have a soft spot in my heart, you know, and also I grew up kind of rough. And so I guess I have a little bit of, I guess you would say I have a lot of empathy for people who have a rough time growing up. I had a very rocky relationship with my father, who died when he was 44 years old. And when I was a little kid, I thought that was old. I mean, now I'm much past that, you know, and I see now that he was really a young man. So when my father was alive, he didn't understand me at all. And I was kind of, I was knocked around by him, I mean, just to tell you the truth. And, but he grew up in a time and a place where that wasn't that out of the ordinary. These days, it seems like at least people are aware that that's not cool. But when I was a kid, that was really the norm in a lot of families. And I guess I would say that communication is the most important thing. I didn't know how to verbalize things in a way that would make my father understand them. So I blame myself a lot. I think kids end up blaming themselves for trouble between parents or in a family or whatever. And the fact of the matter is, it's really not their fault. It's the adult's responsibility in those situations. But if you have a parent who doesn't know how to communicate, and if you're a child who does, I would say do everything you can to try to understand why they're the way they are and try to communicate to them in a way that they understand it. And it's a big load for a kid. And not really their responsibility, but sometimes the parent just doesn't know how. And kids are communicating more and more these days. And with the social network and everything, there's so much communication going on that maybe if you're frustrated or feel even in danger, communication is the most important thing. But I would tell parents the same thing. Find out who your kids are. A lot of parents don't know who their kids are and what their desires are, what their hopes are.
Real easy. Stand and Serve is about making the world a better place. So what do you think we can all do to make this a better place?
Boy, it seems on the surface an easy question, and yet it's as hard as they come, you know, to make the world a better place. I think the best thing you can do, because if you try to do too much at once, it may not work out. Like, so when you're painting the broad strokes, it doesn't always work. You can't just go out there and save the world, but you could start in your own backyard. So I would say, if everybody would just, you don't have to go a mile a day, just go an inch a day. Do something. As a matter of fact, there's a song on our new album. It's called What Did You Do Today to Make It Better? So if you do just a little bit of something that's better than yesterday was, whether it's for yourself or your family or your friends or whoever it is, start in your little circle and then go out from there, you know, as opposed to looking at this gigantic problem and saying, well, there's nothing I can do. You can start in your own backyard and just make that better every day, and pretty soon that spreads and it goes over into the neighbor's yard and it goes into the next neighbor's yard. I mean, that's the simplest way I can describe it. So yes, if this had been around, programs like this had been around when I was a kid, it would certainly at least I would have been aware that I wasn't alone. I think that helps a lot. I mean, once you see that there are other people who are like you or who go through the things that you go through, it gives you a little bit of strength, and it actually, sometimes you can get almost elated that you see that, wow, I'm not alone here, you know? You don't want to see other people in trouble or suffering or anything like that, but inside you, it gives you a certain peace just to know that this is around. And an organization like this would have been hugely helpful for me, just simply because I would have known, well, if it's bad enough that you need to have a group, you know, together for it, you know, if we really need change this bad, then I guess I'm part of something. I'm not alone here, you know. There are actually people out there that care, you know, and you see that there are more and more all the time, you know, people who really care about what's happening. And Jen Rawhouse is such a wonderful woman, and I'd do anything for her. The fact that it's for a cause like that makes it doubly amazing. If she had a dog biscuit company, I'd probably do it for her. But the fact that she's working in the way that she is to help people out, help kids out, is just, it's an amazing thing. And